Okay, we have Gary Clark and Kyle Washington. You can ask questions when you're ready.
Did you guys, was there any motivation to play in them after what happened in the conference tournament last year? Was that on your mind at all to really come out and put it to them? Or is that not even a thought process?
I don't think we mentioned it all week. You know, as within the players, we didn't. You know, I heard somebody say it. You know, walking through the halls. You know, Linder, we owed him from last year, but as a team, we hadn't mentioned it. We just knew we had to come out regardless of their record and be ready to play because they're a good team.
Just because you know what it's like to play them in the past?
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, as a team, we got to be ready to come out every night and play well and get W's. Because if we don't, you know, teams have scholarship guys. So any night you can lose, regardless of your home, away, record, whatever. It doesn't matter. You just got to be ready to play well.
Kyle, you get these games. You've only been in this one, but UConn games have always been real tight for the last few years generally. How are you guys able to make it look, from our vantage point, relatively easy?
You know, you try to keep a good perspective on it. They've been struggling a little bit, but they're still UConn, coached by a great UConn player himself. And, you know, he played in the NBA. They have, you know, NBA caliber talent. And like Gary said, we really just have to stay humble and hungry, honestly, because we just have to stay focused, because where we want to go, we're going to play teams that play teams in other leagues that are very good, and they're in a dogfight every night. So we have to prepare ourselves for that. And like Coach told us to, we just have to stay hungry at all times.
I mean, was there anything strategically that you did to dominate the game inside and, well, everywhere, really?
I think me and Gary, when we were doing treatment before the game, we just said we need to be ready to play. And honestly, I can't tell you guys how much it feels, how great it feels to be near Gary when we're about to start the game, or have him as my front court mate, because he just gives me so much confidence in his selflessness and knowing the game. Someone said he was like, if someone were to scream at Gary for being out of position, Gary never out of position. He knows where he's supposed to be at. He knows where other people are supposed to be at. So I'm just happy that he gives me that comfort.
Kyle, you had a career-high 3 made three-pointers today. Were you just feeling it from behind the arc? Just see some good open shots that you liked?
Yeah, I was feeling pretty good. My point guards and my guards did a great job of just finding me and Gary and making sure we made extra passes. You know, we were just ready to play, honestly. And actually, I told Gary during when we were getting ready for the game, I was like, forget offense. I'm not really. Honestly, I swear to God, I said that. I was like, forget offense. I don't want to think about offense, because Coach says for us to get better, for me to get better, I have to become a better defensive player. So maybe that was the thing.
Did you say that because you just didn't feel like you were in a flow offensively, or?
I mean, not really. I just want to get better at defense, and I want to be relied upon on defense in the crunch time moments. So I told him that. He was sitting in the hot tub. I was like, forget offense.
Did you feel like your defense was better today than your
It was
offense?
okay. I have to do a better job of getting better and get in front of the post and making sure I'm showing hard enough for my guards on the screens and stuff like that.
Gary, you got Brimley today on the block. Could you tell us about that a little bit?
I just knew I would get probably chewed out if I didn't rotate, because I was the closest guy there, and it was early on, and it was going to be a big time dunk, and it probably would have fueled him. So, you know, just being ready for those, you know, for a footer to just be ready to put it on your head. You got to just go all out and just try to get the ball before you get anywhere near the rim, because at his peak, I'm nowhere near him. So just be ready to rotate and help our guys. You know, like a lot back to Kyle and his defense. You know, he's starting to trust us a little bit. So like even when he got his last fouls, Trey was above the rim, ready to block Brahman's shot. So a lot of times he's starting to trust us more, whether it's got guards fighting back. You know, him just being able to rely on us to help him at times, and it'll make it easier for him.
Yeah, probably don't look at things like this, but is this the most complete game you've put together all year, especially in the second half? You shot 58%.
I'm not sure. You know, as a team, we defensively, we first half we were doing okay. We let a couple guys get loose, we didn't let anybody, have a blue at night or, anybody else that's going off on us. But I think, it was close, but I think as a team, we let them hit like 3 straight threes. So when that happens, it's really dead and throughout the team because, to finish a game, like you're asking, you got to finish it and not let things like that happen. Being an older team and with leaders like Troy and Kevin, you just can't allow that. Somebody should have been ready to fight, right during the media timeout. As far, Coach was just talking about that, just little details.
So if there was one bad thing about the performance, that was it? That little lapse in there?
Yeah, our last 5 minutes, where, the 92 team was just talking about details, as far as, you go up 5, make it 10, you go up 10, make it 15, and just keep putting your foot on those guys, on anybody's throat, and just finishing the game. You can't allow that. You can't allow that to happen.
How much did you guys talk to the Final Four players?
We talked to them for about 10, 20 minutes after the game, when we see Corey all the time.
After the game?
Not after the game, but after shoot around this morning. They all came and watched shoot around, the last minute shoot around. And, those guys, really, told us a lot of the positive things they see within our team as far as our togetherness and our selflessness and passion. And, so those guys just want us to keep going and stick to the details because in the long run, if you don't fix those details, those how you lose because you're a talented group, but details are what's going to be the key.
You guys weren't even born when they were going to the Final Four, but did it mean anything to you wear those uniforms today?
It meant a lot. I think these are wavy, honestly, but it meant a lot, honestly, because I try to pay attention to the game, especially the program you're at. Cincinnati was a great program. We still are today, obviously, but it did mean a lot. I like the little throwback graphics and stuff like that, but just to be around players like C. Blunt and the guard, what's the guard's name? I forgot his name. Buford. Yeah, that guy. Thinking about Nick Van X and stuff like that, we're trying to do something that they did. So it's nice to hear what they went through because they were in the same shoes that we were. And, it just felt good, honestly.
Buford would cut your heart out, man. He's a tough player.
I can tell his voice. When he talks, he's so calm.
Yeah.
It's almost like one of those guys off of those movies, like The Equalizer. Chill, behind closed doors.
Yeah, we liked him because he liked talking to us.
All right, guys, thanks a lot.
Yeah, no problem.
Text me that audio too, by the way.
She's going to get speak.
You guys are going to pick what player who wants to go which player, but he text me that audio.
What if you like yourself by yourself?
No.
Rather win than lose, I thought Kyle and Gary made a lot of shots. 22 assists. Offensively, pretty efficient today, but defensively, extremely disappointing. So I don't just look at the scoreboard. I look at the deflection board. We only had 18. Kyle had none. Jacob had 1. We quit playing after we got up 26, so coach is never going to be happy with that. But we play Connecticut again late, and if we don't play 40 minutes, we'll lose at UConn. I can promise you that. We just today I thought we made so many shots that that's what broke their spirit. That's what broke them.
How important was it to you to have the Final Four guys talk to them?
Oh, it was great, and because they're telling the same stuff. The thing about that team, the reason they won so much, besides talent, they had intangibles. They knew why they won. They didn't force the ball to Terrence Gibson. Terrence Gibson knew he was a defender. They didn't force the ball to Terry Nelson. Those guys knew they knew basketball then. I was friends with them then, and they know basketball now. And they know basketball. So it's always neat, to be a part of something like that, to be around it.
mentioned deflections again. 18.
We only had 18, it's pitiful.
What's the
Pitiful.
numbers?
Kyle and Jacob combined for one more than my mother, and she passed away in '05.
I mean, what's the number that you like to get
40.
each game? 40 is your goal?
18's our second low of the season to the 15 that we had at Butler, where was our worst game of the year. If we have a game with 18 deflections, it's not in this building, we will lose. That will be done in March. Couple things. Okay, if we play in March, we get in the NCAA tournament, have a game with 18 deflections, or have a game with Jacob Evans not scoring and he only has one deflection, we will lose. Period. We'll lose. That's exactly what I just told those guys. They can be happy and everybody can tell them how great they are. You know, UConn's playing freshmen. They got injuries. They're trying to fight through it. We made every shot tonight. Obviously, Kyle and Gary combined for 19 field goals. We're supposed to win. We're supposed to win. But I thought defensively, we played well for about 10 minutes. That's where we pulled away. So I thought that's the only time we played well on the defensive end.
In your mind, this is known as a physical series between these two teams. It didn't seem quite as rough and tumble underneath. Maybe I'm wrong.
A lot more made shots.
About one, that's the difference.
A lot more made shots. We don't have to force the ball inside the school. But I'm just telling you, we play UConn on the road, and our answer to win is make 12 threes, we will lose. If we don't play better defense than we played tonight. When we go back up there next month. You guys got anything else? I don't feel real well, so I'm out of here.